This plane is a money sink, but it's good. Welcome to a review of the B-1B in Ace Combat Infinity. Hello everyone and welcome. And yes, another Ace Combat review. Today we're going to be talking about the B-1B. Now, in order to acquire this extremely expensive plane, you're going to need 648,000 credits in order to just acquire the plane, which is not very good. That's pretty expensive, and that's quite a lot of credits. Even in the days where upgrades cost 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, however many million credits, that's still a pretty decent chunk. It is also worth mentioning that upgrades on this aircraft are extremely expensive, especially even for early levels. They can go all the way up to 1, 2, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, just around the 4 or 5 million for each upgrade. Occasionally you'll get that 2, 1 million aircraft upgrade, but most of these are really expensive, around 4 or 5 million up to level 10, which is unfortunately the highest level the bombers can go. It's not like airplanes that reach level 15. Anyway, because this is a bomber, the stats on this plane are going to be a little bit different. But to go along with one that has in common with every other airplane, we're going to start with speed. And the speed on this bomber, although it is an F in the early stages, it ends up at a D at level 10. It's pretty good. It moves pretty fast. As you can see, I'm able to reach at least 1,000 miles an hour at level 1, which is pretty good. It's faster than the B-2. So if you need that high-speed bomber, you're not just going to take it nice and slow. You need to just get there. Maybe you're in a metaplane lobby or whatever. You need to go with this one. This one has pretty good speed for a bomber. Now next up is mobility, which it's a common trait within all bombers, is absolutely horrendous. For this aircraft, it gets a F plus at the level 10. So along with the B-2, this aircraft's mobility is pretty bad. But I mean, what more do you expect? It's a giant heaping bomb-filled thing of metal. Anyway, moving on to stability, it's actually very good on this aircraft, as is with the other bomber, the B-2 at a level 10 stat of S+, which doesn't really surprise me. Both bombers have really good stability. They have a lot of weight to keep themselves in the sky, although they're not really going to be moving that much anyway, so stability doesn't really matter on a bomber, but it's alright. Now moving on to air damage on the B-2, this is awful because this doesn't carry any guns, missiles, or air special weapons, but that's because it's a bomber. Again, not the same as any other old aircraft review. This is a bomber. So, in order to, keep the idea of the realism, this aircraft has terrible air damage. F all the way. I don't expect it to get any better because it's a bomber. But now let's move on to a stat that actually does matter. The ground damage, which is pretty good, reaching S plus at the level 10 upgrade. Now the B-2 has slightly higher, but you can drop so many medium unguided bombs or modified unguided bombs, whatever you want to call them, that ground damage doesn't really matter. So if you need a faster version of a bomber, you might want to pick this one, even if it has lower ground damage, because you can just drop unguided bombs everywhere. I mean, just completely just wreak havoc. Don't worry about the ground damage. All in all, though, it's pretty good. It's on par for a high-level attacker, so that's good. Next up, we're moving on to the final stat, which is defense, which, as you expect, is an S++. Yeah, you heard that right. 3 pluses at level 10 upgrade, which is very, very, very high, very extreme. This aircraft can soak up a ton of damage, but that's what a bomber's supposed to do. Except if you're playing on hard mode, you'll get taken down pretty easily. But if you're playing just normal co-op missions, don't even worry. You just take a missile, it'll do, what, 5-8% of your health? So, yeah, this thing's a good old missile sponge. Overall, and I'm just comparing this to, like, one of only 2 bombers in the game, this is the higher, faster, lighter armament, lower armament, slightly lower damage aircraft, although you can still wreak havoc type of bomber. If you're looking for a fast one that can get somewhere and beat people to the punch, then you want this one, but you're going to have to sacrifice some minor stability, defense, and ground damage reductions. But overall, it works as its job as a bomber, and that's what it's supposed to do. Moving on to the part slots, which are fairly good. From levels 1 to 5, you'll get 28 part slots on the body, arms, and then you'll get 22 in the miscellaneous, which is plenty enough to fit all your bomb parts, which of course you can get more with the playing with the aircraft and getting more slot points for more slots. And then at level 6 to 10, you'll get 30 on the body, 30 on the arms, and 24 on the miscellaneous, a +2 increase. As always, that's kind of standard. And because it only goes up to level 10, 30, 30, 24 is the max you can have without counting the slot points, which is pretty good. It's definitely worth enough to equip all the bomb parts you will ever need at your disposal. Next, we're moving on to the special weapons, which is universal within all the bombers. You automatically get the modified guided penetration bomb, precision bomb, whatever, along with standard missiles like other aircraft that aren't bombers. At level 1, you will get the modified unguided bomb, which is the default. It's basically a multiple unguided bomb you can just drop everywhere. Very powerful. Then you get the modified SOD, which is basically just a much better standoff dispenser. Basically just one on steroids. Just think of it that way. And then at level 7, you'll get the modified air-to-ground missile, which is basically 4 AGM with better lock-on and etc. Just every weapon that this aircraft has is basically just the normal aircraft one on steroids, if you want to look at it that way. Now, I can't really comment on how good this special weapon loadout is because they're both shared between the bombers. It's the only one that you're going to get, but it does its job. It's really good. I personally prefer the unguided bombs because that's the only one I've ever used, but I mean, it just makes sense to just drop a bunch of lead on useless ground targets, on lying, undefending ground targets. I think that's the best way to go about it, um, with this special aircraft. So overall, special weapon loadout is good. It's good for what it does. The aircraft is a good bomber, and it succeeds in what it's supposed to do. Basically that's it. It's what everything you'll expect of a bomber, and it's pretty fast. Now, as for taking this aircraft to level 10, again, not level 15, I don't really think I should advise it because at level 1, this aircraft was perfectly fine. It definitely did the job. It had plenty of firepower. So if you're one of those economical people who aren't wallet warriors and don't spend all their money, don't bother taking this past level 1 because level 1 is plenty enough to do what you need a bomber to do and get the MVP, as you'll see twice in this gameplay. It definitely does the job. There's no need to level it up past level 1, unless, of course, you're someone like, can you guess? Jason Chan, my man Jason Chan, always and every time getting the aircraft to the highest possible level. Anyway, I'm just rambling on here. You don't need to take this aircraft past level 1 unless you really want to, unless this aircraft is your bae. Now, unfortunately, like the competitor, the B-2, which has a variant that is the Idolmaster, the famous Idolmaster variant, with all the colorful, swaggy people on there. I don't understand what the Japanese thing is, because I'm just your dumb American. This aircraft does not have any special variants, unfortunately, but it doesn't really need any. To be honest with you, the vanilla variant, it's been perfectly fine, and, when you think about it, do we really need more special aircraft variants in a game like this? You just couldn't give us skins? You had to make them separate planes? Anyway, this aircraft doesn't have special variants, but it doesn't really hinder the fact the base aircraft is perfectly fine. Overall, my final rating on the B-1B, it's got its quirks, but it's a really fun aircraft to use. It's a bomber, so it's obviously much different, but I like it. I like it a lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review on the B-1B Lancer. I don't know what review I'm going to be doing next. This is a great aircraft to check out. So why don't you guys let me know in the comment section below if you want to see a certain one. I'll try and get gameplays of that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. This is WarDog3. I'm signing out. Make sure you check out the B-1B. Really fun aircraft to use. And yeah, I'm out of here.
Good kill. All units, it's time to... Bravo team, produce some serious numbers.